You can stay seated. It's fine. In the name of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we come here with a thought and a joy in our hearts to celebrate life that we've had with our beloved friend and loved one, Ronald. Dear Lord, what you have given us through his life, his joy, his very being is shown in the faces of all that come here. And we come here today with a glorious thought in our heart to celebrate his life and how he touched each and every one of us, and how in truth we can go and touch others too, that we bring forth the way he was and is in our hearts and souls. We ask that you bring comfort and joy into the hearts of those who are here today, because truly that's what it's for, is to uplift those who are here and mourning and missing him, because our tears are tears of joy, of loss, dear Lord. But we also pray because we know his pain is no longer with him. His joy is still with him. There's the love that he shows goes on forever. Because as they say, out of faith, hope, and love, the greatest of these is love continues on. As long as he's in our hearts and our souls, it shall go on forever. Bless us, open our hearts, let us feel that we ask and pray this in thy Son's name. Amen. You know, everyone who knew Ron was not, as they say, a religious person, but as my sister reminded us, Ron always considered himself a deist. He knew there was something greater. The Almighty was watching over, but he wasn't going to be bound by any single religion. He wasn't going to be bound by earthly rules. But his belief was strong, and his joy was too. So when we looked for a passage and prayed over it, we found this from Exodus, the 33rd chapter, and the 19th verse. And it reads, "Then he said, I will make my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before you. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." That was said to the Lord when Moses asked to see the Lord, to see his glory and his beauty. And as that came up, and I thought of it in my heart, and it was brought forth in a prayer, I said, how fitting that it was Moses and the Shephard family that both brought their families to the desert and carried on from there, and things passed it. When Darlene said, we're going to have something, and he said, okay. He says, David will hold it, I'm his brother-in-law. He said, just don't make it too long. That's sad. We'll try not to. But also, you don't want to make it short, because there was so much of his life and his love that I've seen in each and every one. The joy that people have come and shared with Darlene in the past few days, and we saw the cards, the flowers, the prayers that have come. That was Ron. And you know, when I remember him, I remember his joy and his happiness. He wasn't one to suffer fools gladly, but he wasn't ever one to stop you. He was willing to listen. As long as you didn't impede, he was glad to hear you out, because he respected each and every one. The ideas that you had, that was fine, that was good. He never, ever, that I can remember, I remember when he took me to show where Ruby was by her urn. And we prayed together, and he prayed with us and said amen. When I got home, I realized, wait a minute, Ron doesn't go to church. But he wasn't going to stop it. His feeling was, if you want to flow out your love that way, and he said, it was nice. And it was wrong. It was nice. Make sure everyone is happy. Everyone is loved. Everyone has joy. He uplifted us in so many different ways, and I know we'll go through later and hear all the stories of how he made sure you felt comfortable for everyone else. You know, Darlene reminded us, said, I still remember when the early times meeting him, I was probably maybe 10, 11 years old, and we were sitting on the couch upstairs. Darlene was getting ready to go out, and Ron came in and sat with us, and we were watching the attack of the 50-foot woman. So here we are, my brother and I and my friends are making jokes at this B-rated movie. And all of a sudden in comes Ron, who's at that time probably in his late 20s, early 30s, And he jumps right in. Starts making jokes right along with us. He goes, wow, we like this guy. And then afterwards, when Darlene said, well, they said, Ron later on said, hey, we're going to go to Dairy Queen. Darlene said, well, my brothers have to come along because I have them. And he said, sure, bring them along. Little did he know that when he said, bring family along, Darlene meant it was going to be forever. But never, ever did he not greet you with a smile. Never did he ever come and say he was being put out. He was always gracious to see you, happy. He was always magnanimous. And that's what we loved about him. You know, now we sit here and we remember him and we can see the smiles because he smiled all the time too. Looking at the video, he was always laughing or happy or smiling. He was always a joy to be with. And we come to celebrate that joy. As we said, his pain is over. His way is now freedom. But his concern is for each of us to say and lift each other, to watch over his beautiful wife, his wonderful family, his glorious friends. Because he doesn't want you to worry. He never did. He wanted to make sure everyone else was taken care of. And that's what we want to do today, is take care of that. But those of us who are Christians must also continue to pray. To pray for the souls in eternity, to pray for those who departed. I know I'm a New Apostolic priest in our church, but I'm born and raised Catholic. And in our creed it talked about that the Lord even went. That during the 3 days he went to the places of the departed to uplift each other, to bring the way of truth to everyone. And that comes through us. That comes through our prayers for our brothers and sisters. That comes from what our hearts are joyful in. To say this is truly what we want to do, is uplift each other and carry each other. And I can see that in just how each and every one interacted with the family, how that was. It's a time too that we do have sorrow in our heart. We do have tears. Because it's our end of our time here on this earth. But a faithful knows that it doesn't end here. We have so much to look forward to. Our Heavenly Father wants it to be like that. He wants us to have joy with each other. And then when we think of Him, yeah, there will be a tear in our eye. But the joy in our heart is to be that we had an opportunity to share life together, to be with Him. Remember those special moments that you shared at Bob's and Darlene's house, or wherever you were together. Because that's what Ron would want. Ron would want all of us to be happy. As we heard, he did it his way. He didn't want to slow anything down. He wanted to be on his terms. Not to be sorrowful or hurting. Not to be one to hold others back. But to free each other. Yes, we remember his life. We're thankful for the time that the Lord gave us to be together. But we also have to look to our future. It's our future that we continue on with what He has given us. The love that Ron implanted in our hearts from all that he did continues to grow, and his life continues to grow, and we share that with others. As that saying goes, pay it forward. What he did, let us do for others. When times of trouble come, we have to uplift ourselves. I was talking to Darlene, I said, I never thought of all those years that he worked. And I said, I know he had a difficult job, but he never complained about that at all. When you saw him, you knew that he was having a tough time at work. It was okay. He was going to get through it. Because he didn't want to burden anybody else. He never cut people short. He always cared for one another. And I think of those times that he had with my brother Greg and others, and he just wanted to make sure that they felt part of everything. Extend himself unto all those. And that's what we must do, extend ourselves unto each other. Care for each other and hug each other, uplift each other. Because that's what we need to do right now. We know that Ron is in a better place. And how do we know that? Because he told us. Some of you, most of you probably remember my mother, Dorothy. And she was arguing with him one time and said, Ron, where are you going to go when you die? And he said, I'm going to a better place. And she said, how do you know you're going to a better place? And Ron looked at me and says, because anytime I go anywhere, it's automatically a better place. So my mother did the crucifix and prayed for him real quick. But it was true that he was going to make everything better. And in this moment, we hope that also makes us better too. As we say, we look to the future. Keep Him in our hearts. Keep the Lord in our prayers. Continue to move forward always. Continue to say, thank you for the time that we could spend together. Thank you for the love that He has shown. And I think of my granddaughter's favorite movie, The Wizard of Oz, when I think of Ron. When the Tin Man gets his heart, the wizard tells him, he says, remember, it's not how much you love, but it's how much you are loved that measures the heart. And in this case, his heart must be 10 times bigger. His heart must be wonderful, because he is loved by each and every one, and I can see that. I can see it because we too feel pain. But I also see smiles on your face, because we do remember Him. And that's what our Heavenly Father wants to give to us in this day. The joy, the excitement to know that this doesn't end here. We have an eternity to look forward to. But we also have the thoughts and memories and joy and love in our heart that He gave to us through our loved one. Now that's a Ron will haunt me. I will cut this short. Just say a little prayer, and then we have some other things on our too. So let's pray. Heavenly gracious Father, we're truly thankful for what Thou hast provided and given to each and every one of us. The love that enjoys in our hearts and our souls, the peace that You have given us for our beloved brother and friend and loved one Ronald, that lies in our hearts. We know He would want us to go forth with joy. He would want us to go and let it grow and be shared with all that we come in contact with. He would never hinder us from doing anything. When Darlene would go out and do the volunteer, He would be a supportive end to that. He would be a joy unto that, so that others may be served. You gave so much to Him that He would pour it forth, and the two of them working together uplifted each other. He lived a life, as Your Son taught us. He lived a life of love, of caring, of watching over one another. He lived to give, dear Lord, we know that. And now we ask that You take Him into Your bosom and bless Him in an abundance as only You can. Also lay Your blessing upon each and every one here, and those who feel a pain in their hearts, bless them in abundance. Let a smile come across their face because of what You have done for us and given us. Let us carry forth until the day of heaven opening up. We ask and pray this in Thy Son's name. Amen. We now have Richie Munoz to come up with a eulogy. And afterwards, I'll let you know that everyone will be welcome. If they have something in their hearts that they want to say after we're done, feel free to stay in your seats, or you can stand up and say it. But something for Ron, that would be wonderful. And then afterwards.
Good morning. I'm Richard Munoz. I've been a friend to Ron Shephard since he first came to Phoenix back in January 15, 1973. For whatever reason, he just took a liking to me. I reported to him at work at Western Electric. I was a little upset at him because he replaced one of my supervisors who I really liked a lot named Tom Connor. We was called the TC. But I lived through that, and every Friday afternoon he asked me, do you want to stop and have a beer? No, I had to go home. I got my kids waiting for me. I didn't have any kids at that time. I said that. I didn't know he said. So every Friday for about 5 weeks, he would approach me and said, do you want to go have a beer? So I figured, I already can't. I'm coaching popcorn, I gotta do that, I gotta go. So then I was walking away and he grabbed me. Let me tell you something. While you're here, I'm your boss. From 3:30 on, I want to be your friend. I want to get to know you. I like you. There was like 16 and a half, 17 years apart. So I said, all right, I'll think about it. So I resonated with that for a while and came back and I said, you know, he's like a pretty good guy. He's up front, he's been a good boss. Maybe I'll take a risk and do that. Because as he knew earlier, as we spoke later on, I have a curse that I like you or I don't. There's nothing in between. He always admired that. And if you ask me a question, if you can't handle the truth, don't ask me, I won't tell you. And that's probably why I ended up being where I was today and ended up with a career that I've had, but it's not about me, it's about Ron Shephard. And he was I can remember a time when he was elated, and Darlene, when the mother of my children and I asked them, would they be the godparents to our youngest son, Nicholas? And of course they said yes, but Shepherd wasn't elated. It's like he just won the lottery. I don't know what that got him so excited. And I said, but there comes responsibility with this. He goes, I know, no extra. You know, he always said, I got money. And he will always tell me, he goes, don't remember now, you're the youngster, I've been around a little bit longer than you. He always told me that. And no matter what, I always knew he had my back. Then I got promoted in 1978 to a first level supervisor. And about 10 years later, in 1987, he asked me, would you want to come work for me in labor relations? He was the second level department chief. He said, but you're going to take a pretty big loss of pay. You got 4 children. I had 4 kids by then. He said, you may want to think about it. So I already had my answer. I said, yes. So I went on. I worked for him. A year later, he retired. He took an offer he couldn't refuse. I got promoted to second level department chief in labor relations. 5 years later, I ended up being promoted to assistant manager. Ended up in Omaha, Nebraska. I didn't know where the hell Omaha, Nebraska was. But I quickly found out where it was. I knew he was really proud of me, and he always talked to me like an older brother, but I always knew him as a father. My mom and dad, they worked long hours. They were hard workers, put a work ethic in us, and I'm grateful. That cascaded on my children. And he just loved Nicholas to death. One time we were with the Montego Apartments, is where Shepherd lived early on when he came to Phoenix. And it was a nice environment. I met Darlene for the first time there. I took my son Michael, he was 2 years old. We gave Michael a can of Michelob on one hand, and Romeo and Juliet, which is our cigar. It's about an hour and a half smoke. It's not a Garcia Vega, that's a flash stick you buy at Walgreens. It's a good quality cigar. So then he had a picture of little Mike. I said, okay. Take a picture of him. And then Shepherd leaned over to me. He goes, hey youngster, what are the poor people doing right now? I said, I don't know, they called my wife and asked her. He looked at me, but he always thought I was always quick and witty. But you couldn't compare with Shepherd. He was quick. He was witty. And if he didn't agree with you, he would challenge you. He would drive back around, 20 miles and say, that sign said this, or that did this, or he would just take you on. No matter, you want to bet on that? And he knew I never had money early on, and he always wanted to say, here, when we go to the bar, I got it. I said, no, that's okay. I got it. No, I got it. All right, you got it. We have what they call Western rules. $10, we add it up. You can have a Diet Coke, you can have an expensive wine, Jack in the Rock, do what you want. When that pot of money is gone, you add it up again. Well, I didn't like that idea. I went to $40 in about 20 minutes. And I had one Diet Coke that I was nursing. I said, how is it going to work? So he looked at me, he was like, I told you. So after that, he was proud of me and he did everything. This man was unbelievable with me. And he just had a lot of stuff. And we had what we call Super Bowl Sunday. My sister owned a restaurant, some of you know, named Ritos, R-I-T-O-F-E-S. And it's probably the best around. And she would make us for Super Bowl Sunday. We all put in $40. We got a red chili boil, green chili boil, a machaca with shredded beef boil, rice, bean, potato salad, guacamole, hot sauce, and chips. $40. And we all ended up. And we came there. Every year we had it. We had our pool of money. We bet on the game and stuff like that. And they loved it. And Shepherd loved my sister. Darlene loved my sister. In fact, when I told my sister that he passed, she started crying. And she goes, oh, my poor Shepherd, he loved my green chili corn tamales. Well, I thought about food for that some damn reason. So we go, okay, so the next day after the passing, we went to Darlene, we brought some food, and we started talking. I told Rosie, my sister, that Shepherd passed, and she broke down crying, and she mentioned about how much he liked the green corn tamales. Miss Darlene, Shepherd, she was called by Ron, she goes, I like him too. And I thought, I'm sure she won't forget you, darling. We'll bring you some. We'll bring you some. But then he wanted to meet my mom. And this is the loving part of Shepherd. I said, Shepherd, my mom doesn't like to meet people. Don't know why, she gets really embarrassed. He said, well, I want to meet her. I said, why do you want to meet her? Well, are you questioning me? I'm going to meet your mom. I said, okay, you can meet her. I just want to make sure. I said, Mom, I got a friend of mine named Ron Shepherd. He wants to meet you. And we went to the restaurant she was working at the time. No, I smell like green chili, I smell like beef. I talk broken English, I don't want to talk to him. No, Mom. He doesn't care, he just wants to meet my mother, his friend. Please. Okay. In fact, I look just like my mom, exactly like my mom. For people never met her. So he comes out, she comes out and meets him. 5 minutes later, we're all done. I go back and see her. He seems to be a pretty nice person. I like him. See? And Shepherd couldn't stop laughing when I told him that, but this man could talk to the janitor or the CEO of the company. He didn't flinch, he didn't care. He had the right words. He didn't care about these taskmasters, the so-called guys that were just real hard, know the work, didn't faze him. He made a decision and lived with it. And that's just the way he was, and I respected that. And he told me another reason why he brought me into labor relations, and he showered me with compliments a little bit. When I got promoted to Omaha, Nebraska, there was 3,000 represented employees, and 300 there were 2 unions, 300 employees were represented by IBEW. A bargaining agent, basically the one that bargained for the company. I was first chair, I was head negotiator. We suspended people, fired people, whatever. That's what I did for a living. I didn't fire them, they fired themselves. I had a process to get them out the door. They want to work here and make $28 an hour, that's not my problem. I told the union, I can't place where they're goddamn good. They don't have time to send them only $28, but maybe McDonald's higher than that, not me. We're done. So anyway, I got a call from Darlene. I'll cut this short, but I want to get long-winded here. And he said to me, Darlene called me and said, well, I used to call Shepherd. I'm sorry, let me back up a minute. I'm sorry. We used to go to have lunch after I retired at a place called thank you. I guess it must be a Greek word, so I don't understand.
Every party's been to, I've been to.
What's that?
Every party's been to, I've been to, but not everything. Like 10 years from now.
Anyway, we went there we went there every Thursday, had lunch, had a great server named Cheryl. She made a great salad, made a great meal. It was great. And we talked about everything and anything. We talked about our wives, and he told me how much he loved Darlene. And I said, why don't you tell her that? She knows that. No, she doesn't know that. You gotta tell her. Well, who's the 16-and-a-half-year younger man next to a man that knows his stuff, right? But he always accepted that. He never cut me off. I remember one time he ripped me good. But the word donkey barbecue I ever got from him. Donkey barbecue ass chewing. He said, okay, good. Donkey barbecue, and he says to me, I thought one of his friends was playing him, and I didn't like it, and I spoke up. He turned around, looked at me, and says, don't you ever put your value on my friends, ever again. I said, okay, we'll do. I said to myself, well, we'll see. Well, I don't want that, I told you so, whatever, but time went on. Now, the only time he really ripped me, but he was very supportive of what I did. He always listened to what I had to say. And we talked about everything and anything. He enjoyed that. He really did enjoy that. When I retired and after 41 and a half years with the company, I went to Omaha, Nebraska, thinking it would be a 2-year hitch. They're going to bring me back to Phoenix, and life goes on. Well, I just spent 17 and a half years there. It was the Midwestern people, great people, terrible weather. I miss it for that reason. My wife and I, Ellen, we were there, and we did that. But we came back. We started a Mexican restaurant that my sister had retired and sold the business to her daughter, my niece. We did it for 4 years. And Shepherd came in once a month, and brought Darlene once in a while, and he had a little table, his chairs. When he walked in, he went like this, and put his hand up and said, we see you. So we had to bring out chips, hot sauce, lots of salt. This man put salt until, I don't know where he got it from. He kept putting salt on his chips. He wanted Helen to make him 2 enchiladas, 2 giant enchiladas, and 1 taco. And my Diet Coke. I'll forget my Diet Coke. My God, how can I forget? We're the same damn thing every week. There's one. Just go get it. I said, okay. Then he only took home 6 green chili boiled, 4 red chili boiled, 2 of his friends, 2 Darlene, and beans, right? So, when he loved Helen's presentation. He loved the way she made everything look good, took a picture of the whole bit. We did it for 4 years, and we fully retired, and we went to have lunch once every Thursday. He really liked that. Then I get a call, unfortunately, from Darlene, saying that it was a Monday afternoon, and she says, I took Shep to emergency yesterday, and he didn't want anybody to know. And I used to call him twice a week, how you doing, you need anything, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And Darlene said, she said, he didn't want anybody to know. I told Darlene, you make sure that I'm not anybody. Because I will drop everything I in the world for him in a minute and go do it. And he's like my definition of a true friend. I don't have many friends. I can count my friends on one hand, and I don't use all 5 fingers. And you're one of them. If he called me, he needed something, I don't care where I was, I dropped everything and went there. Unfortunately, he never needed anything. He was the same for me. And that kind of bond, you just don't forget about. And that's why it really hurts me to know that he's gone, and he passed. Anyway, he had called me the next day and said, how you doing? I go, hey, you sound great. We're going to have lunch Thursday. He goes, no, we're going to pass. And we started joking around. He says, I would love to see you. I said, I'll come by tomorrow morning. Went to the hospital, saw him. He was doing all that great. We talked about everything and anything. I left, or he showed up, I left. Anyway, the next time I saw Shepherd was in the den at home last Saturday. And I talked to him and I said, you doing okay, Shepherd, Richie? He was, his eyes closed. When he heard my name, he smiled. looked up, reached his hand out, I grabbed it, and he goes to me, I'm glad you came. He goes, I'm not doing well. I said, you're doing fine, you jump up here and we'll have lunch next Thursday, you'll be okay. Well, he said to me, no, I'm not going to have any more lunches probably. And he said to me, and I asked him, I said, Shep, is there anything you want to say special at your eulogy? And he said, youngster, you'll know what to say, because you speak from the heart. If people want to dispute your facts, they can see you one-on-one, which I thought they will. But it's just the way it is. I want you to say what's on your mind and do it. So I said, okay. So then I got up and I said, okay, I'll talk to you later. He says, okay, you take care of yourself, you too. And I started to break down a little bit. And he said to me, he goes, you know I love you. I said, I love you too. I leaned over, kissed his forehead, and I left it in. And I came over that day, and then we get the word. My son called me and said, did Nina, godmother, did she text you? I said, no. Well, did she email you? That Ron had passed away this morning at 3 a.m. in the morning. He was crying, of course, and I said, well, that made my day. It was bad news and everything. But I told Shephard, I used to like my sayings. I used to tell him what I used to do, do this, say that. And he used to laugh at me when people used to take me out of the restaurant. His favorite story was when the lady came in from Omaha, Nebraska, and her husband, and she goes, why do you close at 6 o'clock in the evening? That is ridiculous. There's like 4 or 5 people behind her. I said, well, we do, man. That's unheard of. The people behind me being patient, they want to order. So I said, can I take your order, ma'am? Hang on. I didn't answer my question. I said, come here a little closer. Come a little closer. Do you know why we close at 6 p.m.? No, I like to know why. Because we can. She actually was shell-shocked. I love you. Go, I like you. I like you. She goes, order your damn food and sit your ass down. And let's get out. I do it from Nebraska. Okay? So anyway, I told Shephard that story and he loved it. But what I want to say, and I've been warned about this, and it's going to be hard. I gave Shephard his eulogy when he was alive. If you gave Shephard a compliment, he would try to cut you off. He'd put your hand out and they'll stop it. You could tell you were getting to him because he got teary-eyed. And I went on, and then he tried to rub me again, and I said, hang on. So I kept on until I completed it. And he wiped his tears off. He goes, Shep, you know my theory of eulogy? He goes, no. I'm going to tell you. I hope everybody hates this because it's true. We only speak well of people when they resign, retire, or pass. We can't go up to a co-worker and say, it was great working with you. You taught me a lot. Gee, I wouldn't be where I was today if it wasn't for you. This, and that. I said, well, what good is that when they're gone? Why can't people say that when you're alive? I don't believe in that. I have a memory like an elephant. A good friend of mine, well, a friend, but my boss, named Bob Schwartz, he once told me something that I never forgot. And I taught this in class in Omaha. He said, Richie, if we speak for the listener, write for the reader, engineer for the operator, we can't get enough trucks in here to take our money to the bank. And for an engineer, that's very damn good. I don't like engineers. They're black and white. Even the few people I do like. You know, either you do or you don't have no gray, black and white. And Shephard, you're going to do that. And so my superior, I report to the plant managers. So I told him, I said, I just want you to remember, I have a good friend named Larry Whitmer who says, life no dress rehearsal. I took it from him saying, life no dress rehearsal. You're on stage right now. You don't get act 2, act 3, act 4 until you get it right. Today, it's gone. The past will never be back again. So you want to know life all pissed off, mad, don't talk to your brother for 4 years, your mom, whatever, go ahead. But you're the one that pays for it later. He loved that. And every time I got the phone with him, I said, don't remember one thing, Shep, real men cry. Don't hold back. Don't hold back, real men cry. And he said, you're right, youngster. I said, I gotta go now, I love you. I love you too. So he said, you gotta say that in my eulogy. I will. Because life has no dress rehearsal, as that country western song goes, if you can't bring me far while I'm living, please don't bring when I'm dead. And that says it all. Well, I'm past my curfew time now. I'm at the people in Sun City, they got me up at 4:30, it's your curfew. Anyway, thank you for all of the time. And as a Friday breakdown, Shepherd's here somewhere, and he's watching me so I don't screw it up. He's around, I do believe in the hereafter. And Shepherd made sure I went to church, by the way, just to let you know what kind of guy he was. Catholic, well, I was Catholic, so. With that, thank you all very much.
Now, if anyone else would like, you can sit, you can stand, you can come up here, whatever you would like.
Can I say something?
No, you hold on.
No, go ahead, I promise you.
Oh, come on up, yeah, that's fine.
This week, just wanted to say, I've been thinking for the last week of all the ways that Ron Shephard has enriched my life and the life of my family. And there are so many ways that, too many dimensions. I have to pick one. And this when I came to visit in 1975, Ron was so excited about Arizona and Phoenix in particular. And when I came to visit, I mean, it was just, wow, this is such a great place. And he had the Cadillac, which you saw the picture of. We were driving around with the top down, and he said, oh, you'd love living in this place. And I remember through the years, people would say, is that guy being paid by the Chamber of Commerce? Because he loved Phoenix and Arizona and Phoenix in particular so much. And so anyway, I was thinking, wow, this might be a great change of pace. And so anyway, I graduated from college and got married, moved to Arizona all within a 3-month period. And graduated from college, I was flat broke. My wife Debbie and I moved, we had no one. And Darlene and Ron Shephard welcomed us into their house. And they had a room, and they let us stay there for several months until we got on our feet, and we got some money, and we were able to move out. And I thought about how, then after that, my parents moved out here with my brother, and my brother John moved out here, and then my buddy Dave Wise moved out here. So Ron started his own mini population explosion in Arizona. So anyway, I just want to say that, just knowing Ron has enriched my life and the life of my family, and obviously all of you, I'm sure feel the same way. It's just been, we've been so blessed to have had Ron Shephard in our life.
My name is Bruce Jackson, and I've known Ron. Actually, this has a lot to do with bars. Not prison bars, but actually I met Darlene in the bar. But not in Buffalo. But somehow Ron and I ended up in a lot of the same places, which I'm going to tell you about. Some of them which are pretty unique. I came from Buffalo, New York also. I'm lot of you maybe came from Western Electric. Well, my dad was Charles William Jackson. He came from Kearney, New Jersey, to Buffalo, New York, to Phoenix, Arizona. He knew Ron, but I didn't know that. He knew Ron through the fact that, excuse me a second, I really need a martini right now. He knew Ron because they worked together at Western Electric. They were both supervisors there. I didn't realize this, but Ron also knew Joe Messmer, which was from Buffalo, New York. Joe was a fellow who lost his legs. When the train went over, crushed his legs, and he went into the real estate business with a wooden leg. Later, Ron happened to know my dad from Western Electric, who introduced him to Joe Messmer, I was there with Joe when I was a kid, and when he got married to Mary, his wife at that time. And my dad introduced Ron to the real estate business. And so Ron went into real estate, as well as many of the same bars that we did. Ron was about 10 years older than I, give or take. 20, 30, 31 days, 30 days. Well, it's not important. He had a good memory, I know that. I don't like public speaking, but I do like drinking. That'll get a little better. We're going to take a quick intermission, but not that quick. The gentleman that was up first, I happen to know him only through Ron because Ron never wanted to go out drinking on Thursday, and I couldn't understand that. And he said, let's go and have some Mexican food. And I said, I don't like Mexican food very much. I said, that's too hot for me and I don't care for it. He said, no, this you're going to like. He said, it's really good. And guess who it was? It was the fellow that was right here first. If I didn't know worked at Western Electric, I would have come over. And so it's a funny world how things twist around. Back to Buffalo, New York. Ron and I, at that time, we didn't know each other. But I used to go to the same bars. I actually had proof to get into all the bars when I was about 14 or 15. And I had driver's license and draft cards and classification cards and federal ID and just about anything else you could want. Birth certificates, made me 21 in case I wanted to go to Canada, and I did. I was 21 to drink there. I was a bit of a maverick in those days. Not like McCain, but it was funny. I was known by the police department. I was actually in New York State, born in Brooklyn, New York. And, well, actually at Bay Ridge. In fact, I've met people that have also been born out in Bay Ridge. Here in New York, from New York, amazing. It's just amazing how things happen. As we look around and I see some of the people that I know here from the neighborhood and people that I know from other different areas, I'm just so glad that I have an opportunity to say hello to everybody I've ever met. Thank you very much, Ron. He's here waiting for me to finish because he knows where we're going next. Don't worry, they'll wait for us. They'll have a round table for us. I guarantee you. Every once in a while, I have to take sort of a deep breath, thinking of my friend. I actually got Ron into through another friend. This is we happened to be drinking that day too. And there was Chuck and Patty Munzer, which were great friends of Ron and Darlene. They were, I think, their best friends. And Chuck was, he used to work at Motorola. He was a top dog. He was the head of Motorola Corporation here locally. And had quite a few inventions. Not as many as I've had, but his were more important because they had to do with the government radar, et cetera, things that we don't talk about. Patty knows. And I never did. Anyway, I can remember we were supposed to go to the veterans meeting at the Elks, a drinking place, where you guys are going to be going later, I'm sure. That's where we want you to go. And it's my turn to buy the way. And I will, and there's stories about that. Ron happened to mention that the bars that we traveled in, and there were lots of them. Kenmore Tavern was one. That burned down, and I ran into it. That's where I learned to play poker. Some of you heard that story. I said, listen, Jim Karam, he sits at the round table. Hey Jim, Dorothy, it's nice to see you guys too. I happen to think of this because we used to have a poker clutch. And we'd go to everybody's house. They'd go to my house and Jim's house. And I took him to the country club one time. And at that time, I was drinking that day. But we had a good time. And bear with me just a second here. Thinking of my old friend. Okay, Ron. He's talking to me right now. He said, are you going to have another martini? I said, yeah. I said, get a couple of them ready for us. So that's when I learned that just because I made a lot of money, I was only 16, but I made a lot of money. I worked hard as a little kid. I shoveled snow and I did driveways, and I also had paper route in the morning and paper route at night, and this is in Buffalo, and that was pretty tough. So I always had money enough to, I bought a nice car. When I was 16, when I was 15, I had a 55 Mercury Encore convertible. And this has to do with how I met my wife. Barbara's back there, way back in the back. I used to go drinking all the time, and I'd go and see Barb's dad. It wasn't for him. His name was Clarence Batcher. And Ron Shephard was the only man alive to know my father, my wife's father. I'm good. You see, I'm old, so I have to be escorted around. This is my daughter, Kathleen. She's telling me, come on, Dad, it's time to go drinking. That's a good point. Actually, Ron would have something to say about that. And the God man in the back, that's Bill, he would say, Jackson, that's enough. We're going to pass there. And I thank you very much for coming.
Just you don't have to come up here if you want to say something.
I'm Crystal. I'm Darlene's goddaughter, and Ron was my uncle. He was. I was out of town when he came home from a lesson. The kind of man that he was. He and my aunt were more worried about me being anxious about not making it back than son. We were more about us knowing that he knew we loved him, and us knowing that we knew he loved us. That's the kind of man he was. Thank you.
Well, you mentioned they want to say something. You can stay there.
I'm going to stay here because I can't stand out.
Yes.
I'm Mike Shephard, met Ron in Buffalo, New York in the early 70s. He was a man's man. You have to be a man to understand that. He was a man's man. Also was the king of the pimps. Everybody in this room that's ever had to deal with him knows what a pimp is, that he was the ones. And there's nothing else that he passed on to me that is so true. I want to pass it on to each of you. You don't need a handicap parking sticker. Ron always said, when you go to any establishment, always park up front. But Ron, it's always full. And he goes, it's not full for people who first apply to see. And I, to this day, find parking place every time. I think Ron, and I like all of you to do that too. One last thing, I want to have been family with Darlene and Ron. I couldn't be because of my DNA. So, like Rick, my son is their God's son, and that's how I became that. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to say anything, or? Remember, like I said, you can stay right in your seat, that's fine. I know it's there. Yes.
My name is Jim Feller. I've known Ron for, I guess, 60 years plus. We used to hang together in Buffalo. I can't tell you some of the things that we did. But we always had a lot of fun. And he was very instrumental of getting my transfer in 1977 from Buffalo to Western Electric out here. And we got closer and closer, and it seems like he always watched over me. He was always concerned for my welfare and my well-being. Well, to give you an idea how much we loved each other, I can remember here a few years ago, we were over at the Shepherds, and we were in the swimming pool and cooling off, and we got out of the pool, and I grabbed a seat with no armrests. And we were having a lot of fun drinking and a little more drinking, and all of a sudden, I slipped off the seat and landed on the cool deck. Well, geez, you know. Well, a couple of weeks later, Darlene and Ron invited my wife Diane and I over for dinner. After dinner, we were back out in the pool, and I grabbed the same seat that I landed up on the pool deck. And Ron went in the house and he grabbed this long leather strap. And he snuck up behind me and he put it around me and locked me in the chair. I don't want you to fall on my ass. But, I have a little, verse that I'd like to read to everyone. When I must leave you. When I must leave you for a little while, please do not grieve and shed wild tears and hug your sorrow to you through the years. But start out bravely with a gallant smile. And for my sake, and in my name, live on and do all things the same. Feed not your loneliness. On empty days. But fill each waking hour in useful ways. Reach out your hand in comfort and in cheer. And I in turn will comfort you and hold you near. And never, never, never be afraid to die. For I am waiting for you in the sky. Amen.
Is there anyone else who would like to say something?
My name is Shephard. I've known Ron pretty much actually all my life. Kind of where I fit the picture is Nikki, and I know her by Nikki. My mom and Joni all started in flight attendant school together in Buffalo. So I've kind of heard some stories through that, but that's how I got to know Ron. And listening to everybody here about the drinking kind of makes sense to the story that I want to talk about here. Joni and Steve live in Northern California. They live on a lake, beautiful place, very nice, and they have a wood deck outside of their house. And I'm not sure how old I was at that time, but Ron fell off the deck. And when you fall off the deck, you have nothing but woods and rough terrain and all that goes down the hill towards the lake. And when he fell down, I think people were looking at him, laughing at him, and all that. But he stayed on the ground for a while. And the story goes, there was a nurse there that went down and saw him and thought he was pretty serious. So I think they called 911 or got him to the hospital. But I believe to this day, and I'm not sure, that there's one of those wooden signs there that you get at fairs or marketplaces that says Ron's Leap. And but anyway, that had a lot, as I come to find out, Ron had a few too many that day. And that's why he fell off the deck. There's a lot of things I haven't seen Ron in I'm not sure how many years, even though I've lived here. But I saw him when he went to the hospital recently. It's like, I went up to him, it's like not a day passed between us. And that's just kind of the type of person that you all know that Ron was. He still had a sense of humor then. There was Nikki and several women around. And he said, look, he goes, I have my wife and all my mistresses here at the same time. So we still had the humor, he was telling jokes and all that. And then the last thing that I remember is I saw him, I think the day after he came on hospice, and talking to him and holding his hand and then leaving him for the last time. And that really makes me sad. Happened to leave him, and that's what I had. Good memories. He had this Jaguar car, convertible, steers in the back. And I thought he was the coolest guy ever.
He would agree. Anyone else?
Just one little thing.
Yes, no, let's.
I'm Tina Knight. A lot of you know me as a bartender at the Elks Lodge. Right? So, anyways, my husband Brian and I came here just under 5 years ago, and we went to the Elks Lodge, and we were sitting at the bar, and Darlene heard us say that we were from New York. Well, in 2 seconds, she comes running down. I'm from Buffalo. I'm from Buffalo. And we've been best of friends ever since then. We had them over for dinner several times down, or Ron loves my turkey dinner. I was going to make him one, but unfortunately he didn't get to it. But I'm sure he's having one in heaven. And I did want to say something, Richie, to what you said about the table and putting the $10 in. Well, at the Elks Lodge, Bill Haas, Bill Young, Bruce Jackson, several other people, it's now $20 to go with it. And it gets used, so. Everything, I love you very much, and I miss my wife.
Yes, please.
Wow. My name is Bob Schwartz. Unlike many people here who transferred here from Buffalo, I transferred to West Electric from Los Angeles, probably one of you. When I first got here, 1978, I think there were people about that time. You get to know a lot of folks here in the plant, they're all new to me and stuff. But over time, I heard more and more good things about our ship. I think when I listen to Richie here and the success that he has had, I think a lot of that came from that relationship that he had with Ron. I was unaware until I heard him the other day how close they were. So I really think that it had something to do with their relationship and how successful Richie was and what kind of a guy Ron was. Down at the plant, we had folks come in from back east, now we would always kind of classify them as a black hat or a white hat. Obviously, some of us are old enough to remember the old Western movies. The bad guys are the black hats, the good guys are the white hats. Ron wore the white hat. Thanks.
Is there anyone else who would like to? He sold that hat. He sold that.
Final, that's sort of my quotation, final. And good to see you, better than being to you. And Brian, always laughs at. So it's probably a good time for us to, at least for me, after all. I know that
people that would like to speak, so I want to hear some more. But I can't hear it all, I keep moving back and forth. That's one of my wife over there. She said, why do you keep moving? I can't hear. That's fine. That was my table, by the way. I invited Ron to the table, like Jim and the rest of them. And I used to buy it all around. And my wife would say, don't be buying all the time. It was great when Ron came to the table. I said, Ron, come on and sit with us. And he said, you shouldn't buy all the time. I said, no, I don't mind. He said, no. I said, why don't you just throw in $10? I said, I don't care. I don't care what it costs. He said, well, a lot of guys don't throw their 10 in. I said, yeah, they do. No, I've got it down there. I said, okay, let's throw 10 in. He said, I didn't have to buy it anymore. Oh, it's a great idea. That's a Ron. Thanks, Ron.
Is there anyone else who would like to say anything?
Yes, I'd like to say something. My name is Jim Carroll, I'm a former officer in the Alps. A lot of you are getting an idea that we do a lot of drinking. Just expand on that. We do.
Anyone else?
Jim is the oldest one at our round table. He's like 90 or something like that. We're going to keep track of it.
No more drinking stories. Some of the stories that Jim was going to tell, it's past the statute of limitations, so you're okay. There's no tickets anymore. Anyone else? All right, because I know we all want to start getting going. I just want to finish with, I don't know if you heard this, Richie was leaving. He said, Ron always made sure, he always said, did you go to church? Because people said, well, he's not religious. I go, well, he was. And the thought that crossed my heart, and spoke earlier about it, was when Christ walked upon the face of the earth. And the centurion came up, and he said, one of my servants is ill. He said, he's cared for me since I was a child. Can you come and can you take care of him? And Christ looked at him and said, sure, let's go to your house. And he said, you don't have to go to my house. He said, I'm a centurion. If I tell someone to do something, they do it. If I say go somewhere, they go somewhere. He said, you're the Son of God. He said, if you say it, my servant will be healed. And Christ looked at him and said, nowhere in all of Israel have I seen such faith. And I think of Ron when I hear that, because he had a great faith. But he also had a life that he lived, as you've heard from many. He was giving, he was caring, he wanted to uplift everyone, he wanted to share with everyone, and he wanted to make sure that everyone else was cared for. That's what was the life of Christ. The love that he showed to each and every one of them still lives in our heart and our souls. And that's, so, take it from the centurion, that was right. He didn't have to have a church around to show the great love and faith that someone had taught him. And that came through Christ our Lord, at least I heard. Like I said, he never stood in the way of everyone else being part of that, showing their faith or showing that love. There was a man who stood above so many others. I'm thankful to our Heavenly Father to have known him and been part of my life. All right, if we can, we'll pray. You can stay seated. We'll pray the Lord's Prayer. And please, I know there's so many different versions. Say the version that you are closest with, that you have learned to know. And if you don't know it, that's okay too. And then we'll do a blessing unto them. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, and power, and amen. We now now remember the earthly ashes and what the body has become. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, that is returned unto the earth. The Spirit we commend into the hands of the angels to rise up and take them to his heavenly home, to be greeted by our loved ones who have gone before us, to enter into the warm care of our Heavenly Father, to be watched over and blessed. But the love that God shared with each and every one of us that lives in our hearts is to be utilized, is to be given, is to be brought forth and shared with all the people we come forth in touch with. And in this way, his love shall never die, but it shall continue until the gates of heaven are open for all of us. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our services here at the chapel. On behalf of the family, I want to thank everybody for being here, for showing your love for Ron, giving your love and support to the family. The family would like to invite everybody for a celebration of Ron's life. It's going to be at the Elks Club on North 32nd Street.
We're here today to honor our brother, Ronald E. Shephard. To the family, relatives, and friends, we as members of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks are here to pay tribute with affection and honor our brother Ron, who has passed through the shadows into everlasting peace. At this time, we should pause in thought, in thoughtful review of the principles we uphold in faith, as we follow the teachings us to live in bonds of charity with all mankind. To do justice to one another raises the standard of human excellence every day. Brotherly love is a torch that sheds light over the whole pathway of life. Fidelity inspires us to be true to one another and to treasure the memory of the departed. In fraternal recognition of the part borne by our brother Ron in all our work in bowing to the decree of all-wise God, I ask you to listen to the reverence of the chime of the hour of 11, with us, the hour of remembrance.
It is the hour of recollection.
The chaplain will lead us in prayer.
Our Father who art in heaven,
Amen.
we come to Thee and humbly ask Thy blessing upon this service. May the passing of our brother Ron inspire new devotion to the fraternal duties entrusted to our keeping. May those who mourn be comforted with Thy tender love and mercy. From the darkness of this hour, lead us into the sunshine of Thy presence. As Thou art with us through life, so bring us at last where we are united in bonds of eternal peace. Amen.
Amen. Ronald E. Shephard. In vain we call. He has passed into the light which is beyond the valley of the shadows of death. The places that have known him shall know him no more. And again we realize that in the midst of life we are in death. That he who watches over all our destinies will again, on the last great day, unite the chain of fraternal love so recently Esteemed leading knight, in summing up the life work of our departed brother, what records shall be made in the name of charity?
I testify to his faithful adherence to the principles of charity.
Esteemed loyal knight, how shall his devotion to justice be measured?
As the just deserve justice, I declare that Brother Ron was faithful to justice.
Esteemed lecturing knight, representing the principles of brotherly love, what is the testimony from your station?
By the fraternal ties that bound Brother Ron to us, I pronounce him faithful to brotherly love.
Lodge Squire, what is your tribute to our brother's patriotism?
He who loved his country's flag has not lived in vain. This flag is first in our hearts as loyal Americans and guards our altar as loyal elks. May its clustering stars and streaming light guide the immortal soul of our brother Ron on its journey through eternity.
At this point, we have spotted anybody who would like to make any statements or eulogies about Ron. A few minutes, if anybody has anything to say. I know you guys just have a funeral, so. My friends, the incident of death is not more mysterious than the incident of birth. We were born to die, and we die that we may live. This philosophy of human existence remains unchanged throughout the passing of centuries. The birth of an individual does not greatly impress us, but when death invades our ranks, we are appalled. It is not life that causes us to pause, but the loss of it. Likewise, a clinging faith in immortality has been our solace and inspiration since first the flight of time began. Although a natural and inevitable event, the final summons always comes to those we love with a blow that seems to crush our hearts. We think gentle thoughts, we speak tender words, we halt, we wonder, we reason. With faith, we become reconciled, as we realize that loss of life is not the end, but a beginning. In this simple and reverent ceremony, it is not my purpose to deliver a personal eulogy of our brother, who no longer answers when his name is called. Ronald E. Shephard was an American citizen, an Army veteran, responsive to every duty of citizenship and brotherhood. He took his vow before the antlers. He attested his obligation upon the great book of law. He pledged allegiance to the American flag. True, our brother has journeyed away from us. His dream ship, frail or staunch, has sailed to another shore. The clock of his days has stopped upon the dial. The motionless shadows mark 11. With us, the golden hour of recollection. Whatever may have been his accomplishments, we are his name upon the tablets of love and memory. As he was true to us, let us be true to him. Speaking for the surviving members of Phoenix Lodge number 335, I say goodbye. Goodbye until the hour of 11 rarely returns. Thou art I am thou. Thy name shall never be forgotten. May we ever act with charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity. This concludes our ceremony today. Thank you all for coming.